Anticyclonic gloom, a calm but gloomy week ahead. Dear viewers, and welcome back to our special weekend weather update. As we head deeper into October, our skies are entering a fascinating phase, one that meteorologists call anticyclonic gloom. It sounds poetic, doesn't it? But behind that phrase lies a rather curious reality. Dry, calm, yet surprisingly gray days ahead. You see, high-pressure systems, or anticyclones, often give us settled weather. The air under high pressure descends, preventing cloud formation and usually blessing us with clear blue skies. However, there's a twist. When a pocket of moisture becomes trapped beneath that dome of calm air, and the winds stay weak and stagnant, the result can be a blanket of low gray cloud that simply refuses to move. That's the kind of week we're heading into. A quiet weekend under high pressure. This weekend, high pressure is firmly in control across the UK. Saturday morning may start with some mist and fog, especially across the Vale of York, a scene straight out of a painting, though perhaps less lovely for early commuters. Fortunately, most of that fog will lift through the morning, giving way to a mix of sunshine and cloudy spells. Across southern counties, the skies might stay rather dull, while Scotland could see some light rain drifting in. But for many of us, Saturday afternoon looks promising, bright, calm, and comfortably mild. As we move into Sunday, clearer skies overnight will bring a chillier start. That means fog is likely to return, more widespread this time across England and Wales. It's a typical autumn pattern: calm air, cool nights, misty mornings. Luckily, being Sunday, fewer people will be driving early, so the fog's impact should be minor, though it could still be dense enough in places to warrant travel warnings. The calm before the gloom. Once that fog clears, Sunday will again bring occasional sunny spells, though not for everyone. Shetland and Orkney may see bits of rain, and the far southeast could remain overcast. Still, for most of the country, it will be a quiet and largely dry day. But if we zoom out to the bigger picture, changes are brewing. A series of weak weather fronts are spinning near the western Atlantic. And by early next week, the moisture from those systems will slowly drift toward us. The problem? Our stubborn high pressure won't budge. Instead, it will absorb that incoming moisture, trapping it right over the UK. With light winds and short autumn days, there won't be much to clear the cloud away. The sun, now weaker in mid-October, lacks the strength to burn off that gray layer. And so, we find ourselves in that classic British paradox. Stable weather that feels anything but cheerful. A whole week of calm, gray skies, our so-called anticyclonic gloom. A challenge for energy and daily life. This kind of weather doesn't just affect our mood, it also affects our energy systems. There's even a German term for it, Dunkelflaute, literally a dark lull in renewable energy. When it's cloudy and windless, solar panels produce very little power, and wind turbines barely spin. So next week could bring challenges for renewable energy production across the UK and much of Northern Europe. Even in our gardens, you might notice it. Solar lights that usually sparkle by night might start to fade, and devices that rely on solar charging could struggle. It's a small but visible reminder of how dependent we are on sunlight, even in ways we often overlook. Mostly dry, but damp at times. Despite the gloom, it's important to remember that high pressure means stability. So while the sky may look dull, we're not expecting widespread rain. Instead, occasional patches of drizzle may appear, the kind that never quite becomes a proper downpour, but still dampens your coat. Most areas will stay largely dry, with light winds and cool, calm conditions dominating the first half of next week. So for gardeners or those planning outdoor work, it's not bad weather, just not particularly inspiring. When will the pattern break? Now the big question, how long will this high pressure last? If we look at the probabilistic pressure trend charts, which show how likely high or low pressure systems are in the coming 2 weeks, it's clear that high pressure remains firmly in charge through the middle and even the end of next week. In fact, it's almost 100% certain that the calm pattern will continue until around the 18th or 19th of October. After that, things begin to shift. The pressure pattern becomes more mobile, with a westerly flow returning. That means weather systems from the Atlantic will start pushing through again, bringing windier, wetter conditions, especially across western regions. So by the week beginning October 20th, expect a return to classic autumn weather. Showers, brisk winds, and more frequent rain bands sweeping across the UK. It's a natural transition, a reminder that autumn is deepening, and the lively storms of late October are just around the corner. Confidence and uncertainty. Of course, as we look further ahead, confidence in the forecast gradually decreases. The shift from a stable high-pressure setup to a more unsettled pattern is always tricky to time. It could arrive a few days earlier, or it might hold off until closer to the 22nd or 23rd. Still, most models agree that the second half of October will bring a return to more active weather. Some spells could be quite blustery or wet, especially in western Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. But between those fronts, there will still be calmer, drier breaks, so it won't be non-stop rain, just more changeable than what we've seen lately. A look at rainfall patterns. Let's talk briefly about rainfall for the start of next week. Comparing three main models, the UK Met Office, the European ECMWF, and the American GFS, we can see that all three agree on the general story. High pressure overhead, mostly dry conditions. However, when we zoom into the details, small differences emerge. The Met Office and ECMWF models, with their higher resolution, capture a bit of patchy drizzle in the southeast and northeast, particularly around Kent and East Anglia, while the American model, with coarser data for this region, misses some of that fine detail. Still, even in the wettest spots, we're only talking about 10 to 15 millimeters of rain over 3 days. Hardly enough to make a difference after such a dry summer. So while technically those areas may be the wettest in the UK, in truth, the country will remain fairly dry overall. Looking ahead, the end of October. As we move toward late October and early November, we can expect the jet stream to strengthen again, steering more Atlantic systems our way. That means more wind, more rain, and more movement in the skies. A welcome change for those tired of gray stillness. For now, though, the message is simple. Next week will be calm, quiet, and largely dry, but expect much sunshine. It's a week to cozy up indoors, enjoy the golden hues of autumn, and perhaps light a candle or two while the fog curls softly outside your window. In summary, high pressure stays dominant through mid-October. Expect calm but cloudy conditions, with occasional mist and drizzle. Some fog may be dense in the mornings, especially over England and Wales. Little to no heavy rain, but also little sunshine. A transition to wetter, windier weather is likely around October 20th. So while it may not be the most dramatic forecast, it's a perfect example of British autumn, gentle, gray, and quietly beautiful in its own way. Thank you for joining us, and as always, stay safe, stay warm, and enjoy the calm before the next change in the weather.